What's up everyone, my name is Katya Tension and I am back yet again for another makeup tutorial. I guess I'm just gonna make them like a bi-monthly thing. I'm not gonna promise to do this weekly anymore because at this point I have failed dramatically. So today we are going to be doing another makeup tutorial, and I have a new backdrop, but you can't really see much and it's really wrinkly, so don't judge me, but if you do, at least leave a comment so I bump up in the algorithm. But today's tutorial is actually going to focus on contour and contour placement. So if you have issues or questions or are curious how other people do their contour and what might be best for your face shape, go ahead and keep watching the video, and if you like it, hit the like button and subscribe. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from people who have been watching my tutorials. So to everyone who has been tuning in and liking the videos and commenting and subscribing, thank you so much. I heavily appreciate it. But in the meantime, you're gonna watch me as I go from this to this.
Okay, we're back, and of course we're gonna start by priming our face. I'm using that baby skin primer again. I just haven't bought any more. And I'm at the very end of my Krylon paint stick after 2+ years. So here we are using the last bit. I'll probably be scraping some out for the next month. And of course we will blend with our potato of a beauty blender. People have been asking me where I get this. I just get it from Walmart. It's the oh, I don't even know what brand it is, but it's the biggest one you can find. And of course we have to highlight, so I'm using my Mayron white to highlight, and of course you want to focus it on the center of the face. You want to bring out your cheekbones and your highlight points to make it look more feminine, if that's the type of look you're going for. If you're not trying to look feminine, I would experiment with shapes. Start blending from the inside of your face to the outside. Bring it upward as you go out. It'll make your cheekbones look bigger, and I already have kind of a big chin, so I just sort of highlight it. And we are here for the contour portion of the video. You know, that's exactly why we are here. I'm applying with a foundation brush using cream foundation. The point of what we are doing is to deepen the already existing shadows of our face to make our cheekbones look bigger. So if you have a more round face, you can start your contour lower. If you already have existing high cheekbones, you can start where I am starting, which is at the top of the ear. Now that little bump in the middle of the ear is for those who have about an average shaped face. And you want to bring that in until you get to the part that is just before where your eyebrow will end on your face. Doing so will make your cheeks look very large and in charge, and it'll also really deepen out that shadow. Of course, you want to try and mirror this on the other side. Using this sort of mapping technique will basically create a fail-safe. I can paint a lot of people's faces, and even if I'm not doing the cut crease sort of contouring, you can still do a more blended look so long as you know where to map it from. Of course, we all know how to contour our foreheads, but if you don't, start at the outside temples and slowly work your way in. But so let me talk about this cheek contour. It can be pretty tricky. If you have a slender face with higher cheekbones, go ahead and start at the top of the ear and bring it down. Try not to suck in your cheeks. I know that's an old school trick, but the unfortunate part of that is, while it might work for some people, for others it'll just make it look like a brick on your face. I use one beauty blender for my entire face. So what I do here is I blend up and behind the ear from my jawline. That will create a nice blended look, so you don't just see the beginning and end of your jawline contour, which I place just under my original jawline to deepen that a little bit. And then I go around my chin so that it brings out my chin, makes it look like it sticks out just a little bit more. Since I make my cheekbones look so high as they are, I want to make that look proportional by making my chin look like it's sticking out a little bit more as well. and making my chin look a little bit smaller. As you're blending this out, just lightly dab it. You don't need to be brushing it or swiping at it unless it's a really, really, really thick texture. But if you just lightly dab it, it'll blend out on its own and it'll look a lot softer. Use the foundation side of your beauty blender to sharpen the bottom if you want that more cut crease version of contour. And then lightly blend it in with your highlight. Now, this can be a little tricky for some people when you're blending such a dark color in with, white. I use Alabaster Mayron on my highlight section. So this can be a little tricky sometimes because if you put too much product on, it can get very muddy, and next thing you know, you have no blend. It just goes from white to your dark contour color. The reason I use such a dark contour color is because the dark cold tones are meant for contouring, and the warmer, more bronzing tones are meant for blending and creating warmth in your face. In addition, these dark products will last a lot longer if used tastefully. So what I do is I go back in and I touch my highlight sections because, after sitting for a minute, it can look a little rough. After that, I use the leftover product on my brush to create my nose contour lining. At this part, squeeze your beauty blender and pinch it to create a more precise blend. And then tighten that up with more white highlight.
Alright everyone, so this is the cream portion of doing your makeup for the contour. As you see, I was putting out different ways you could do your contour. Essentially, you want to deepen the shadows, not create a whole brick that doesn't accentuate the shadows of your cheekbone and reshape your face. So I'm going to go ahead and pause until we get to the powder portion of contour.
So something that is important about setting your makeup, which is obviously what I'm doing here, is in the middle you want to use a pretty translucent powder, and then on the outside go ahead and use one of the Airspun setting powders because it has a little bit more color to it. And then of course go ahead and start your powder contour. Since we already have a base of contour, I'm using this lovely bronzer. It smells like coconuts, it's really yummy. And I use a very fluffy brush because it creates such a nice blend. Sometimes using the angled contour brushes can make such a harsh line, and having something so fluffy really helps with the blend. You can also pinch it to get the same effect that you get when you use one of those angled contour brushes. And so I'm using a dark eyeshadow to deepen my contour just a little bit more on top of what was already there. Next step you want to do is take your blush, your favorite blush, and put it right on the top part of the contour and have that blend into your white. It'll put some color back into your face so you don't look so dead. Now this step is pretty important for those who want a more dramatic cut crease for their contour when they're doing their makeup. I use a powder foundation on a powder puff, and I cut under the contour so that it looks a little bit more dramatic and it cleans up that line.
Alrighty, so now that I've dusted off everything after doing my eyes and baking for a second, it is now time to deepen that contour. So you just take your old brush, and just in case, and then you go in.
So just as we used the powder foundation on the bottom to create more dimension and clean things up, we're gonna do the same thing on the top and brush away excess amounts so it looks a little bit more airbrushed and beautiful.
Alright everyone, this is the final look. Today's look is just a typical drag mug for me. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Like this is pretty. I like it. Like, mug. This is a woman. This is what a woman looks like, theoretically. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I have a show to get to. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you all next time for whenever I decide to post a YouTube video in the somewhat kind of near future. Thank you. What's up, everyone? Today's makeup tip is makeup touch-ups. Now, I have been in the sun in full drag for 10 hours today, and so I want to show you what I do to start touching up my makeup. Obviously, my facial hair is going to start coming in, and as you get really close, you can see these black spots where everything started sweating because I was, drenched in sweat standing in the sun. So, my secret is the Super Stay Full Coverage Coverage Complete Powder Foundation. A lot of people will go straight into brushing and patting with a brush, and you can do that. However, this is what I do. I take my Beauty Powder Puff, and I'll touch up right under, which will brighten up again. There you go. So that definition is back, and it covers any facial hair that was growing there. And I go over my mustache, and those black spots go away. So what you want to do is you want to touch all that up. Essentially, you're adding another layer to what is already there. Now, I'm going to blend this all together here in a minute. Oop. Grab the wrong product. Then I use my highlight color, which is as close to white as you can get when you're as pale as me. And as you can see, it's all cracking and coming apart here. And you just apply it right over. And the oils in your skin will pick up and stick this foundation to your face, almost as good as a primer. And you just press it in. Blend it in. I have a very specific brush to buff all this out. It's a fat, fluffy brush essentially, but it's firm. So if you want to pinch it, you can. And instead of brushing it off completely, I dab. And that'll help it blend together and marry in with your skin. Like so. I forgot to do my chin. My chin's really bad. You can see all my facial hair cutting through. And what I love to do to get the extra coverage on my neck again, so I'll take this, just take my brush. And I normally only use this when I'm doing a boy mug. I don't put a base down or any liquids or anything. And it normally saves the day, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, now before you're done with that, to solidify it sticking into your face and all that jazz, get some setting spray. Right now I'm just using e.l.f. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna marry the two sets of makeup together by getting it wet and then drying it together as if it's only one piece. So, I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'm gonna use contours and deepen everything. And that is today's makeup tip. If you are having facial hair come through and you are having an issue using regular foundations throughout the day, I do highly recommend using this sort of pressed foundation. Essentially, it's a powder foundation, and it will hide all facial hair. I've had a full 5 o'clock shadow coming through my foundation, my liquid foundation, all the bases I put down before, after being in drag for hours at a time. And so what I did is I just put this over it and it disappeared. So I highly recommend this from Maybelline. It's a fantastic product. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope to see you all next time for another makeup adventure. Have a good night.